What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So, today we have an interesting little video for you. Gonna go over some, let's call them imperfections on the WRX, mainly from an aftermath of aftermarket parts, I guess. Some of them are a little bit of wear and tear just from the 75,000 miles we've put on this car. A mixture of easy highway driving, hard canyon driving, whatever. But first, what we are going to do, as we are at a public parking lot, I was going to say an undisclosed location, but there you go. Publix and God's Chicken. Anyway, the reason we are here is that we are finally selling the air suspension setup. It's been a long time since I've mentioned it, and it's been equally as long to sell the damn thing. I don't know why. I guess it is a pretty niche thing. I got a lot of people reaching out, hey, can I just buy the management? I'm like, no, I want to sell it as a package deal. That's going to make my life more difficult if I try to sell just the management and then I try to sell just the wiring harness and just the struts and just the compressor. And anyway, we finally found a guy. He was driving here from Knoxville, Tennessee, which for those who aren't aware of your geography of Knoxville and Greenville, South Carolina, it's about a 2.5, 3 hour ride one way. So this guy is definitely serious. He is on his way right now. Should be here probably within the next 15 minutes, unless he's hit traffic or something. So anyway, gonna get rid of that. Then we'll go over some of the imperfections on the WRX and we'll go from there. Transaction is complete. So now it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of today's video. So once again, what I want to do is go over some imperfections I have on this car. It's maybe a few more than I would like to admit, but nonetheless, the first step in admitting that your car is fucked is actually admitting it. So, to start off, we have the headlights. Right here, like they fit well, just a little bit of oxidation. Funny story about this, or at least it's funny now. So these headlights were one of the first mods I ever did to this car. And long story short, there was a guy at work who, moron, but he wanted to jump my car because he thought that Blake Griffin dunking over a car wasn't impressive. I told him no, he still did it, cracked my headlight, and he had to buy me a new headlight. And if you know about the Redline V2 headlights for the WRX, they're not cheap. So he was good enough of a sport to buy me a new one. But either way, we only have one that's oxidized. This one's good, or at least, you know, there's a little bit there, but not too bad. But either way, I just ordered a restoration kit. So easy fix, no problem, but something to point out. The second imperfection I want to point out here is along the similar lines of the headlights, and that is the fog light bezels. So I'm not sure if you can really tell on camera. Maybe let's check this one. Yeah, if you see right there. So this came as like a gloss black, and now it is not glossy. It is definitely faded. I think partially due to just, you know, wear and tear and weathering, but also rock chips. It's not horrible, but when you look at that, supposed to be gloss black, against the front lip, doesn't look too great. So I'm thinking about changing that up. Once again, those are old. That was one of the first mods I did as well. I think I might go to a fog light with the DRL turn signal thing. Not quite sure, but just throwing out ideas at this point. Nonetheless, something that doesn't look great, but probably doesn't come across as shitty on our day-to-day videos. So I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. On to number 3, once again, sticking with the front end of the car. Obviously the front end's gonna be a little more torn up than, let's call it, the rear, just because of the way that air passes through a car typically, front to back. Anyway, this has nothing to do with airflow. has everything to do with me being a moron. If you can see this crack here in the front lip and this scratch, both of which annoy the crap out of me. The crack, I had the front lip on for, I don't know, a couple months. I was doing well. I knew that, you know, with the front lip, you have to drive carefully and you have to angle and you have to do all of these things, which I was doing great. Didn't have any issues with it. And then something was in the road as I was driving, I don't know, 30 miles an hour, and hit the front lip. And believe me when I tell you, it sounded like the whole thing exploded, including the bumper. So either way, that was there. Now for the scratch, I was at work, there was a little pebble sitting about right there, and I saw it, and I took my foot right here to kick it off, and I put pressure on the pebble, and I scratched it. Stupid, stupid, stupid move by me, but I don't know, it's just the game you play. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the front end. Hopefully, no more imperfections will happen on the front end between time of this video and the time that I fix everything else. Either way, it's shitty, but it's part of life, so it is what it is. Moving on to the side of the car. This one probably hurts me the most, if I'm being honest. If you're looking at it right here, there's no way you can tell. No shot in hell. I'll give you your time to make a guess as I get closer and closer and closer. And then we get right here. This is not a rock chip. This is a rock chip. This is me being stupid. And what I mean by that is when we were putting on these Maxxin Design side skirts, they come with self-tapping screws. When you're self-tapping, you want to make sure that you're self-tapping into the correct area. In this case, you want to make sure there's enough upward area to not poke through the side skirt. At least I caught it before I went all the way through it, but when I saw it, I was like, mother. I was so pissed, I was not happy. But once again, when you're modding your car, shit's gonna happen. Just gotta roll with the punches and I guess learn from your mistakes. I didn't do it on the other side, so that's good. But either way, that one really hurts me. I'm not sure why I did that. I should have been thinking a little bit harder, but sometimes critical thinking and John Bockhorst just don't mix. Nonetheless, got to live with our consequences. Now that we've gone over the front and the side, we are now on to the rear. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This one is a pretty odd one, so just bear with me. But the rear imperfection, and I'm not even sure if you'll be able to see it. And I would touch it to show you, but because I just drove here, it's probably hot. But the underside of the exhaust scraped. Now, I don't know about you guys or if you've ever driven a truck with a trailer hitch. That happens sometimes with the trailer hitch, you know, it sticks out a little bit further and as you're going up and down weird wonky shit, it scrapes. That's fine. Exhaust typically doesn't. I don't even remember. I remember hearing it and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. But I don't remember where I was or whatever. But either way, I dragged the outside tip of my exhaust on the ground, which left a mark. Now, some of you guys might be saying, well, John, that's really not that big of a deal. You know, no one's ever gonna see that except for you. You're being too hard on yourself, whatever you might wanna call it. And you're right. But when I detail this car and I go and I make sure the exhaust is all nice and clean and shiny, which obviously it isn't right now, but I then run my wash mitt on the underside and I caress the exhaust tip. It pisses me off, my mitt gets caught on it, and it's just not fun. Anyway, it's brutal. I don't know. I've thought about switching it up, maybe going to a single exit exhaust. Actually, the guy that I just sold the air suspension to, if you're watching this video, shout out to you. But he actually has a Tomei with a catted J pipe. It was a little bit louder than mine, but I liked it. So it was good to at least hear it in person. But I have been looking at the Tome exhaust, so might be going to that, might not, don't know. I do feel like it's time to start switching some stuff up on this car. But nonetheless, that exhaust one, I don't know, pretty minor from the eyes of you guys and anyone else who sees the car, but drives me insane. So wanted to put it on the list. And because I'm freezing my ass off, we're gonna end with this one. Probably have a couple more to show you, but actually we've got 2 more. Anyway, the next one, going to the other side of the car. No, it is not a self-tapping screw issue, but it is a side skirt that doesn't exactly want to go back in to the same spot. I think an easy fix would be if I just pulled it back off again and got new plastic clips to shove it in. Probably fix it, but it's on there and it doesn't rattle or anything, so I don't know, it is what it is. And then last but not least, come over here, and this is why you don't park next to a cart corral or anything near anyone. This right here, oh yes. If you can see that, if you can hear it, that is not just a clear coat or whatever, that is down to the metal. That one really pisses me off. You wanna know why? Because I had nothing to do with it, and people suck. And you know, if your cart rolled away and hit a car, I like to think that most people would go up and check it out, and if there was an issue, they'd leave a note and say, hey, sorry about your luck, here's my phone number, call me to repair it. No. Maybe that's wishful thinking. In the world we live in today, that's probably wishful thinking, but that one irritates me a lot because I didn't do it. I need to get a pen of just touch-up paint, and I can do that. And I can do some rock chips here and there. But all in all, once again, it's just one of those things where really I would be the only one to really notice it. But anyway, with all of that being said, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, please give this video a big fat thumbs up. If you have any comments, drop them down below, especially on this one, because people suck. I'm not saying that all people suck, but some people do, and they ruin it for everyone. But anyway, as always, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. And until next time, peace.